Hello students, welcome to video number 4 in module number 1, where we are discussing about the introductory concepts and basic law of heat transfer. In this particular video, we are going to discuss about one-dimensional heat conduction equation when uniform thermal conductivity and there is no heat generation is considered, or without heat generation. Okay, so we are going to discuss for plain wall and composite wall, and similarly we are going to discuss the same thing, one dimensional heat conduction equation for cylinder and composite cylinders, as well as sphere and composite spheres. Okay. Okay, so first we will consider a conduction, one-dimensional heat conduction equation with uniform thermal conductivity without heat generation, for the plain wall or a simple slab. Okay, so let us consider a plain slab of thickness L as shown in figure. Okay, uh, here let consider K be the thermal conductivity, and T1 and T2 are the temperatures at T of X is equal to 0, and X is equal to 0, and the temperature T2 is at X is equal to L. I will repeat once again. Let consider a plain slab of thickness L. Okay, and small letter k is the thermal conductivity of that given slab material, and T1 is the temperature at x is equal to 0, now heat is transferring in positive x direction as shown in figure. Q is transferring in positive x direction at x is equal to 0. T1 is the temperature, and at x is equal to L, T2 is the temperature. Okay, and the heat transfer Q is normal to the area A, or A is the area normal to the heat flow Q, and you can able to draw a resistance circuit as shown in figure. So where resistance R is equal to thickness divided by area into thermal conductivity. Okay, R is equal to L by AK. We will see how we can able to get this equation in detail in later in this derivation. So just these are the consideration we are taken into account. Okay, so the governing equation for one-dimensional steady-state heat conduction equation, we know that what is three-dimensional heat conduction we already derived, we studied in video number 2. What are the three-dimensional equation for a Cartesian coordinate, isn't it? D square t by dx square plus d square t by dy square plus d square t by dz square plus uh, qg by k is equal to 1 by alpha into dt by theta. Now for steady state without heat generation means we are getting only dx d square t by dx square plus d square t by dy square plus d square t by dz square is equal to 0. This is for 3 dimension, isn't it? Now we are considering for 1 dimension, because this plane q is uh, heat flow is in only x direction. That's why d square t by dx square is equal to 0. That we know. That is the governing equation for one dimensional steady state heat conduction without heat generation. Okay, call this as equation number 1. Okay, call this as equation number 1, and Now we will integrate this equation with respect to x. Okay, we will integrate this equation with respect to x, and we get dt by dx is equal to c1. Okay, so call this as equation number 2, and again integrate equation number 2 with respect to x. We will get t is equal to c1 into x plus c2. c1 into x is equal to c2, where c1 and c2 are the constant which can be evaluated by knowing the boundary condition, by applying the given boundary condition. Okay, so call this as equation number 3 and apply boundary condition for this. What are the boundary conditions? We know that this is a plane wall with a specified boundary surface temperature. At x is equal to 0, the temperature is T1, and at x is equal to L, the temperature is T2. So by applying this boundary condition, we can get at x is equal to 0 and T of x is equal to T1, isn't it? At x is equal to L, T of x is equal to T2. Applying this condition in equation 3, we will get C2 is equal to C1. C2 is equal to C1. Sorry, C2 is equal to T1. And again applying that equation in applying C2 at x is equal to L, we will get T2 is equal to C1 into L plus T1. C1 is nothing but, sorry, C2 is nothing but T1, isn't it? So applying that, we will get this equation T2 is equal to C1 into L plus T1. So rearranging, therefore C1 is equal to T2 minus T1 divided by L, isn't it? T2 minus T1 divided by L. So substituting that values in equation 3, we are already having equation number 3, isn't it? So substituting C1 and C2 in that equation, we will get the corresponding, or the equation will be changed to T of x is equal to C1. C1 is what? C1 is equal to T2 minus T1 divided by L into x plus C2. C2 is equal to T1. So T of x is equal to T2 minus T1 divided by into x by L plus T1. Okay. So rearranging that, T of x minus T1 divided by T2 minus T1 is equal to x by L is equal to x by L, or rearranging plus T1 minus T of x divided by T1 minus T2 is equal to x by L. Call this as equation number 4, and this equation you can able to see in data handbook page number 44. Okay, so this above equation is called as temperature distribution equation for plane slab. And we know that the temperature variation is linear, isn't it? So the equation number 4 is called as temperature distribution equation for plane slab, and temperature distribution is linear. Okay, so we can get the expression for heat transfer also. Okay, so we will see what is the expression for heat transfer. We know that from Fourier's law, the heat transfer equation is given by Fourier's law, and the rate of heat transfer at any section of x is given by q of x is equal to minus Ka into x dt by dx. What you mean by Ka into A into x? Area normal to the x direction and normal to the rate of heat flow in x direction. Okay, Ax means. Or you can simply say minus Ka dt by dx. Okay, Ka dt by dx. All this as equation number 5. So we know that what is for a plane wall, A of x is constant, which is equal to A. From this equation, we know that dt by dx is nothing but T2 minus T1 divided by L, isn't it? T2 minus T1 divided by L. Okay, so q of x is equal to minus Ka T2 minus T1 divided by L, T2 minus T1 divided by L. So which can be written as Q of x, that means rate of heat transfer along x direction, Q is equal to Ka T1 minus T2 by L. Okay, negative sign is interested. Okay, Ka T1 minus T2 divided by L. Now we will see what is thermal resistance of heat, for heat flow, which is called as concept of thermal resistance for heat flow. Okay, concept for of thermal resistance for heat flow. So it can be seen from the above equation 7. Q of x is independent of x and a constant. So equation not 6 equation 7 can be written as Q of x is equal to T1 minus T2 divided by L by Ka. L by Ka. Okay, T1 minus T2 divided by L by Ka, which is equal to T1 minus T2 divided by R. L by Ka is called as R. Call this as equation number 8. So this equation is also you are going to get in Tata handbook page number 45. Okay, page number 45 you can able to see. So here we can say uh, when two physical systems are described by similar equations. Okay, when two physical systems are described by similar equations and have similar boundary conditions, these are said to be analogous. Okay, so the heat transfer process may be compared by analogy with the flow of electricity in an electrical resistance. Okay, so flow of electric current is directly proportional to potential difference. Okay, flow of electric current is directly proportional to potential difference. Similarly, heat flow rate is directly proportional to temperature difference, which is the driving potential for driving potential or force for heat conduction, isn't it? So heat transfer is directly proportional to temperature difference. Okay, so which is the driving potential or force for heat conduction. So for electric current, from Ohm's law we can say current I is equal to potential difference dV divided by electrical resistance R. Am I right? So all of you know, all of you studied, isn't it? What Ohm's law states, that states electric current is directly proportional to potential difference. So current I is equal to potential difference dV divided by electrical resistance R. Similarly, if you take same analogy, electric current as that of heat flow rate Q. Q is directly proportional to potential temperature difference. So Q is equal to temperature difference dt divided by dt is nothing but T1 minus T2. In equation 8 you can able to see, isn't it? Dt divided by L by Ka or dx by Ka, which is nothing but resistance. That dx by Ka or L by Ka is analogous for thermal resistance, analogous to thermal resistance. So it is called as thermal resistance RTH or simply R. Okay, so that is actually it is explained. Okay, where R is thermal resistance, R is equal to L by Ka. So in equation 8 is analogous to Ohm's law for electric current. In this equation, T1 minus T2 can be thought of as thermal potential, R can be thought of thermal resistance, and so that the plane wall can be represented by an equivalent thermal circuit as shown in figure. Okay. The unit of thermal resistance is degree Kelvin per watt or degree centigrade per watt. Okay, so in heat and mass transfer data handbook page number 44, the relation for thermal resistance when it is subjected to plane wall. Okay, the thermal resistance with plane wall, pure, if it is pure conduction, then relation is R thermal is equal to L by Ka. And if it is subjected to convection condition, then the relation will change to R thermal is equal to 1 by Ha, where H is convective heat transfer coefficient. That is also available in data handbook page number 44. Okay, next we will discuss about a composite wall whose boundary surface is subjected to convective boundary conditions. Okay, so let me consider a composite wall which is made up of three material 1 2 3 that you can able to see, where K1 and K2 and K3 are the thermal conductivities of material 1 2 3 respectively, and the material is having different thickness to say L1 L2 L3. Okay, so L1 L2 L3 be the thickness of that three layers, and uh, K1 K2 K3 be the thermal conductivities of three layers. So consider this composite wall of three layers. On both the sides the fluid is flowing, okay, at the inside as well as outside the wall. So inside it may be hot fluid, and outside it may be cool fluid. Okay, so Ta and Ha be the temperature of fluid and its heat transfer coefficient which is flowing at inside, and T infinity and H infinity be the temperature of the fluid and its heat transfer coefficient which is flowing at outside. Okay, or we can say Ta and HV, or T infinity and H infinity. Okay, it depends. Next, if you write if you change that to electrical analogous, or if you write a resistance circuit diagram, then you can able to write a circuit T, then thermal resistance with respect to convective boundary conditions, and then T1, that is the surface temperature of the composite wall at the inside surface temperature, and thermal resistance which is called as RTH1, which may be the resistance due to conduction in material 1, and T2 is the interface temperature of material 1 and 2. Similarly, the TH2 is the thermal resistance caused due to the flow of heat, for the flow of heat in material 2, L2 by K2A, and T3 be the interface temperature of composite material 2 and 3, and RTH3 is the thermal resistance to the flow of heat flow in material 3, and T4 is the temperature of outside surface temperature of composite wall, and T infinity is the temperature of the outside fluid. Okay, so these are the things you should know before going to derive the equations. So we can able to write by following the page number data handbook and page number 44. We can able to write a resistance relation for convective condition as well as conduction condition. Okay, so RTHA is equal to 1 by HA into A is the area normal to the flow of heat flow, and H is the convective heat transfer, inside convective heat transfer coefficient inside fluid. Okay, so that is RTHA. Similarly, RTH1 is equal to L1 by K1A. Okay, L1 is thickness of the first material, and K1 is the thermal conductivity. Similarly, RTH2, and you can able to write the relation for RTH3 also. Similarly, you can able to write the equation for RTH infinity. Okay, so here we are going to get the uh, the uh, resistance over here, RTHA, RTH1, RTH2, RTH3 and RTH infinity. Okay, so I hope you understood this. Okay, these are the explanation what I explained in previous slide. Now, applying or assuming the quantity of heat transfer per unit volume through each layer is same. Okay, assuming the quantity of heat transfer per unit time through each layer is same, then we can able to write equation Q of Q is equal to rate of heat transfer. Q is equal to HA. This is nothing but Newton's law of cooling. Applying Newton's law of cooling, we can able to write HA into dt. HA into TA minus T1. TA is what is TA? TA is nothing but inside fluid temperature, and T1 is nothing but the inside surface temperature of composite wall. Okay, similar, which is equal to next in the layer 1, conduction heat transfer. This is convection heat transfer, this is conduction heat transfer in layer 1. K1 A, this is by as per Fourier law. Okay, Fourier law of conduction. K1 into A into T1 minus T2 divided by L1, which is equal to K2 into A, T2 minus T3 minus L2. This is Fourier law applied to material 2, and similarly Fourier law applied to material 3, which is equal to Newton's law of cooling at outside. Okay, so Q is equal to HA into TA minus T1 is equal to K1 into A, T1 minus T2 divided by L1, which is equal to K2 into A, T2 minus T3 divided by L2, which is equal to K3 into A into T3 minus T4 divided by L3, which is equal to H infinity into A into T4 minus T infinity. Okay, next, rearranging this above equation, we can able to say the first term. What is that? We will consider only the first term. Q is equal to HA into A into TA minus T1. So from this we will get, okay, only the first term. From this we will get TA minus T1 is equal to Q by HA. Q by HA. 1 by HA into A is what? R thermal at RTHA. So you will get TA minus T1 is equal to Q by RTHA. Okay. Similarly, the second term Q is equal to K1A into T1 minus T2 divided by L1, which is equal to T1 minus T2 is equal to Q into L1 divided by K1A. Now I will take this L1 denominator, then Q by K1A into L1, which is okay, which is equal to Q by RTA. That is also possible. Okay, then you will get T2 minus T3 is equal to Q by L2 into K2A or QL2 into K2A. Okay, similarly this QL3 by K3 into A, and T4 minus T infinity is equal to Q by H infinity into A, which is equal to Q by R thermal infinity. Okay, by adding all the terms, TA minus T1 plus T1 minus T2 plus T2 minus T3 plus T3 minus T4 plus T4 minus T infinity. Now what you can able to get, which is equal to Q is common term, 1 by HA plus L1 by K1A plus L2 by K2A plus L3 by K3A plus 1 by H infinity A. Now here minus T1 plus T1 get cancelled, minus T2 plus T2 get cancelled, minus T3 plus T3 get cancelled, minus T4 plus T4 get cancelled. Only remaining is TA minus T infinity. What do you mean by TA? TA is nothing but inside fluid temperature, and T infinity is nothing but outside fluid temperature. Now that actually we are going to calculate, isn't it?
What is the heat transfer from inside fluid to outside fluid? That is actually what we are intended to calculate, isn't it? Ta minus T infinity is equal to Q into, now what is this 1 by HA by A? That is nothing but R thermal A, RTHA. Similarly, L1 by K1A is nothing but 1 by this one is RTH1 plus RTH2, RTH3. This is a denominator that is already I given. So, simplifying this RTHA minus RTH1, RTH2 plus RTH3 plus RTH infinity, which is called as R total. So R total is equal to RTHA plus RTH1 plus RTH2 plus RTH3 plus RTH infinity. Therefore, R total is equal to 1 by A into, which where R total is 1 by A into, what is that? R total is equal to 1 by A into 1 by HA plus L1 by K1 plus L2 by K2 plus L3 by K3 plus 1 by H infinity. So this you can able to get in equation in data handbook page number 45. So this is about composite wall. So next, similarly, we will see try to derive the equation for composite sphere or cylinder. Now we will consider hollow cylinder and then later composite cylinder. So this is a sketch for this is how a hollow cylinder is represented. So you can consider a hollow cylinder of thermal conductivity K and inside radius of R1 and outside radius is R2, and the length of the hollow cylinder is L as shown in figure. Okay, so you can consider it as hollow cylinder of thermal conductivity K and it's having inside radius r1 and outside radius r2, and length is L. Let T1 is the temperature at radius r is equal to r1, and T2 is the temperature at radius r is equal to r2. Okay, so next, we know that governing equation for one-dimensional steady-state radial conduction in a hollow cylinder is uh, 1 by r into d by dr of r dt by dr is equal to 0, or d by dr of r dt by dr is equal to 0. Call this as equation number 1. So integrate twice with respect to r. Okay, integrate twice or 2 times you have to integrate, you will get t is equal to c1 into lane of r plus c2. Okay, call this as equation number 2. So applying boundary condition at r is equal to r1, when r is equal to r1, t is equal to t1, and r is equal to r2, t is equal to t2. Then equation 2 becomes t1 is equal to c1 into lane r1 plus c2. T1 is equal to C1 into lane R1 plus C2, equation 3, and T2 is equal to C1 into lane R2 plus C2. Okay, so that is equation 4. Equation 3 minus 4 will give T1 minus T2 is equal to C1 into lane R1 minus lane R2, which is equal to C1 into lane R1 by R2. Okay, so therefore C1 is equal to T1 minus T2 divided by lane R1 by R2. Okay, similarly you can able to get the value of C2. Substituting C1 in equation 3, you will get T1 is equal to T1 minus T2. This value is nothing but C1, isn't it? T1 minus this value, T1 minus T2 divided by lane R1 by R2 into lane R1, here it is given, plus C2. So rearranging this, you will get C2 is equal to T1 minus T1 minus T2. Okay, T1 minus T1 minus T2 into lane R1 divided by lane R1 by R2. Okay, so substituting that in equation number C1 and C2 in equation 2, and you can able to simplify, then you can get T is equal to this is nothing but T1 value, sorry, C1 value, T1 minus T2 divided by lane R1 by R2 into lane R minus lane R1 plus T1. So simplifying, T minus T1 divided by T1 minus T2 into lane R by R1 divided by lane R1 by R2. Okay. So this again rearranging to get this temperature distribution equation, we will get T minus T1, bring this T1 minus T2 here, T minus T1 divided by T1 minus T2 is equal to lane R by R1 divided by lane R2 by R1. This equation is also available in data handbook page number 45, which is called as temperature distribution equation of cylinder. Similarly, we can able to get for a sphere. Okay, the temperature variation is by this equation we can say that the temperature distribution or variation is not linear, it is logarithmic distribution. Okay, the variation is logarithmic. Okay. Next, we will see for a composite cylinder. So let consider a heat flow in a composite cylinder. Okay, which is shown in figure. So here you can able to see Ti. Let Ti be the temperature of hot fluid which is flowing inside, and TB or T naught, be the temperature of cold fluid which is flowing out. Now you have to imagine a hot fluid is flowing inside the cylinder, composite cylinders, okay, which is made up of three materials, three layers, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and inside hot fluid is flowing and outside cold fluid is flowing. Now heat is transferring from inside to outside, obviously, isn't it? Higher temperature to lower temperature. Okay. So Ti is the temperature of inside fluid and T naught be the temperature of outside cold fluid. Similarly, Hi is the inside heat transfer, convective heat transfer coefficient, and H naught be the outside fluid convective heat transfer coefficient. And K1, K2, K3 be the thermal conductivities of material 1, 2, 3 respectively. And R1, R2, R3 and R4 with the radius of that layer composite wall. Okay, different layer 1, 2, 3 respectively, and L be the length of the cylinder, composite cylinder, and T1, T2, T3 and T4 be the surface temperature, inside surface temperature and interface temperatures of that composite wall. Okay, so you can able to write thermal resistance for this. So you can write thermal resistance for this, and RTHI, RTH1, RTH2, RTH3 and RTH0 in the range of T1, Ti to T0, and T1, T2, T3, T4 are the interface temperatures. Now we did the for the composite wall, what we considered the heat transfer, assuming the quantity of heat transfer per unit time through each layer is same. The same thing we are going to consider. The rate of heat transfer Q is equal to the convective heat transfer coefficient taking place from hot fluid to inside surface, then which is equal to conduction heat transfer from first layer to second layer, then conduction heat transfer from second layer to third layer, then that is equal to conduction heat transfer from the third layer to outside surface of the composite cylinder, then which is equal to convective heat transfer from the outside surface to outside fluid. Okay, so that is like this: Q is equal to convective heat transfer coefficient from inside fluid to inside surface of the composite cylinder. Now, what is how to get this from Newton's law of cooling? Q is equal to HA into delta T. H is heat transfer coefficient HI. A surface area here. Please note that it is surface area. How to get the surface area of a cylinder? 2 pi R1 into L into Ti minus T1, which is equal to area normal to the surface 2 pi L into K1 into T1 minus T2 divided by lane R2 by R1, which is equal to K2 into 2 pi L into T2 minus T3 divided by lane R3 by R2, which is equal to K3 into 2 pi L into T3 minus T4 divided by lane R4 by R3, which is equal to H0 into 2 pi R4L into T4 minus T naught. Okay, so rearranging above equation, you can able to get a Ti minus T1 if you consider this Q by H1 into 2 pi R1 into L, which is equal to Q divided by Hi into R1 into 2 pi L. Similarly, T2 is equal to Q by K1 into 2 pi L into lane R2 by R1. Similarly, T2 minus T3 is equal to Q by K2 into 2 pi L into lane R3 by R2, and T3 by minus T4 is equal to Q by K3 into 2 pi L lane R4 by R3, and T4 minus T naught is equal to Q H naught Q by H naught R4 into 2 pi L. These are the resistance values of corresponding materials or corresponding sections. Okay, so now we got Ti to T1, Ti minus T1, T1 minus T2, T2 minus T3, T3 minus T4, T4 minus T naught. So adding all the sections T1 minus Ti minus T1 plus T1 minus T2 plus T2 minus T3 plus T3 minus T4 plus T4 minus T naught, and you what you are going to get minus t1 plus t1, minus t2 plus t2, minus t3 plus t3, minus t4 plus t4. Then it is get cancelled, only remaining is ti minus t naught. That is actually we want to calculate, isn't it? What is that? The rate of heat transfer from inside a hot fluid to cold fluid. Okay, that we what actually we are going to find. So adding all the terms, we will get this equation. Ti to ti minus t naught is equal to q by 2 pi l, that I take in common term, okay, taken outside. So 1 by hi r1 plus 1 by k1 lane r2 by r1 plus 1 by k2 lane r3 by r2 plus 1 by k3 lane r4 by r3 plus 1 by h naught into r4, which is equal to q is equal to 2 pi l into ti minus t naught is equal to 1 by h1 r1 plus 1 by k1 into lane r2 by r1 plus 1 by k2 into lane r3 by r2 plus 1 by k3 into lane r4 by r3 plus 1 by h naught r4, which is equal to uh, Ti minus T naught is equal to 1 by 2 pi L into RTHI plus RTH1 plus RTH2 plus RTH3 plus RTH naught. Now, if you multiply this 2 pi L to this R, then you will get R total. So, which is equal, Q is equal to Ti minus T naught into R thermal, total thermal resistance. Therefore, the total thermal resistance R total is equal to 1 by 2 pi L into 1 by Hi plus R1 plus 1 by K1 into lane R2 by R1 plus 1 by K2 lane R3 by R2 plus 1 by K3 lane R4 by R3 plus 1 by H naught into R4, which you will get in data handbook page number 46. Similarly, we can derive the equation for total thermal resistance for sphere, which is RTH total is equal to 1 by 4 pi, because this is surface area, into 1 by R1 square plus 1 by K1 into 1 by R1 minus 1 by R2 plus 1 by K2 into 1 by R2 minus 1 by R3 plus 1 by K3 is equal to 1 by R3 minus 1 by R4 plus 1 by H naught into R4 square. That is also available in data handbook. Okay, page number